Scott Brown, who's running here in our home state of Massachusetts for re-election against Elizabeth Warren, who is challenging him for that seat, is outraged that people who might not vote for him are registering to vote. This is a fascinating story. Back in 1993, the National Voter Registration Act, which since 95 has required governments to offer people the opportunity to register to vote when they access government service, like getting a driver's license, etc., also applies when people apply for welfare benefits. So when you apply for welfare benefits, you're supposed to be offered or asked to register to vote. Now, a number of groups have actually started suing states to ensure that the law is being followed. One of those lawsuits happened here in Massachusetts, Lewis. A woman complained she applied for welfare benefits. She was not asked to register to vote. She wasn't given that opportunity. And rather than fight the case, Massachusetts settled, saying, right, that federal law, we have to follow that. As part of the settlement, we're going to offer voter registration by mail to almost 500,000 people who hadn't been offered that possibility when they applied for a number of different benefits, as they should have been. So all that Massachusetts agreed to do is make good on the promise that they made, which is we're going to offer people who apply for welfare the opportunity to register. We didn't do that in person, so we're going to mail something. Very straightforward.
It's just compliance with a federal law that they should have been following.
No question. Now, Scott Brown sees this as a move to steal his Senate seat, which I guess he thinks rightly belongs to him and people who voted for him that, I don't know, aren't on welfare. So he has seized on the fact that one of the 4 advocacy groups in Massachusetts that is involved in this case is chaired by the daughter of Elizabeth Warren, who is running against Scott Brown, okay? So 4 advocacy groups are working on this issue. Scott Brown has pulled out the fact that one of them also employs Elizabeth Warren's daughter. Therefore, I guess those people shouldn't be allowed to vote, right?
It's a conspiracy.
I mean, it's a conspiracy, no question about it. So the Brown campaign put out this statement that was very whiny. It forgets the fact that we're talking about a federal law, and that's why Massachusetts agreed to the settlement. And he says, I want every legal vote to count, but it's outrageous to use taxpayer dollars to register welfare recipients as part of a special effort to boost one political party over another. Now, I don't know too much about these crafted PR statements from senators, but I am troubled by any sentence that starts with, I want every legal vote to count, but. I want every legal vote to count, but. Is that language that concerns either of you guys?
It is not a good way to start a sentence.
No, certainly not. When you're a senator, and presumably you're there as part of the American democracy where people vote, et cetera, starting a sentence with, I want every legal vote to count, but. You want every legal vote to count, right? And federal law is being followed here by this make good of offering these people the chance to vote. That's it. That's plain and simple what it is.
We could just say, I want every legal vote to count, but not when it hurts my chances of winning. I mean, we can cut out most of that sentence.
Yeah,
just,
really.
Just use that.
You don't even need all of it. All you need is, I want every legal vote to count, but. That's it. That's all. That's the entire part that you need, really.
Yeah.
So there it is. Scott Brown, maybe he'll be able to keep that Senate seat even with all the legal votes counting, which I know is something he certainly doesn't want.